And so to other stories now, and prospective senior high school students who wrote the basic certificate examinations will soon be enrolled via the computer school selection and placement systems. The system will allow students to see the schools they have been admitted into and the programs offered. But over the years, the system has been confronted with a myriad of challenges, including allegations of malfeasance leveled against managers. Well, let's explore the issue further. Atta Boateng is a national coordinator of this computer school selection and placement system. He joins us live in the studio for us to explore further on this matter. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you too for having me.
So we're going to have a new batch of people admitted into senior high school, and this is going to be done through the computer selection and placement system.
Yes.
How differently is it going to work this time around?
WAEC last Monday began the process for the students to start selecting the schools that they want to go into and the courses that they want to pursue. So that will take about 1.5 months. So hopefully it will end by 30th April. Once that is done, then after a month, the students will also be allowed to text and confirm the schools that they chose. If you chose Prempeh, if you chose Okuapemai, it will all be on your phone, so you can easily verify before we go ahead and do the placement based on your performance in the examination that is going to be written somewhere in June. This year, we intend to have a situation whereby when you print your placement form, your picture will be on it.
Which didn't used to be the case.
Which didn't used to be the case. And again, one of the controversial issues, surrounding this whole placement system is about the use of raw marks as against the grades, the number grades that we have. So this year, discussions are ongoing, but it's very likely that we're going to have both the number grades and your score. So if you had
the number grades as well as the score of the individual student.
Very good. So if you had, let's say, 1 in English, the score that you obtained, if you had 90, it will be there. Because, most of the time, we don't use the number grades, we use the raw scores, the raw marks that you obtained. It's possible that we can have a range from 90 to 100. Is if you get any score within that range, is 1. So somebody can score 90, it's a 1. Somebody can score 95, it's a 1. But of course the performance is not the same. So that's why we use the raw marks in doing this. But in the past we were not including the marks because of some few issues. But this year, like I said, discussions are ongoing, and it's likely that we're going to have both the number grades and the raw marks, and then your total. So let's say you go to Wesley Girls and you had 450, and you see that you missed out, somebody had 451, the last person to get in, then you don't have a reason to complain that you've been cheated.
Right. Again, in the past, we've had allegations of malfeasance, all been attributed to this computer placement system. How have you addressed these challenges over the
I think, what the use of the raw marks and the number grades together is just one of it. We also, it centers on some sentiments that people express, especially I went to Achimota, and therefore my ward has to go there whether she qualifies or not, or he qualifies or not, you see. So when people don't get the schools that they choose, that is where the problems come. They allege that, some people have been collecting money here and there. We hear
and is that a claim you discount?
We discount because
why?
we call for evidence. They are all speculation.
You don't think it's likely for people to manipulate with the
system?
We
just want one single evidence that the security agencies can just mount on and do something, because we've employed the services of the security agencies. Sometimes you hear that somebody paid 1,000 cedis somewhere to get school changed. You call for that person to come forward, and nobody wants to come forward. So it's something I'm not disputing, but at the same time,
it's foolproof.
It's foolproof because, come to think of it, how can it be stolen? Because at the end of the day, if Prempeh College, for instance, requested for 500 students, all the 500 students will be given to Prempeh College, spread on the courses that they do. Business, maybe they are taking 100 for business, 100 for general arts, and then all the candidates are there. Their marks are against their names, including the schools that they went. So somebody had 400 marks and qualified to get into Prempeh College. You go and it's on the wall. on the notice board. Okay, I had 399. I go there and it's not the same because I can't get in when the last person to get into maybe to do business was 400. It's there. So what is the cheating about? It's clear. Everything is clear. It's not that we hide anything from the public. Every list that we send to the schools, the headmasters are required, the heads of institutions are required to put that on the notice board for everybody to see.
So, again, how are you dealing with challenges of people complaining about the fact that their names were not captured on the system?
That is, hardly a case because, like, the system has begun now. Registration is ongoing. The schools that you want to go into, you register. As it is now, WIAC has registered over 438,000 students for this year's BECE, and we are going to use that number to do the placement. And don't forget, we had about 1,181 students doing the receipt, and then we also have re-entry students, some students who deferred admission for one reason or another. And then we have foreign students. So we put all. I'm going to ask
you to hold on. Let me speak to the programs director of the Youth Bridge Foundation, Douglas Korte. He's got some thoughts on this particular subject. Douglas, thank you very much for your time. What are your concerns with this school placement system?
Yeah, I think first of all, good afternoon to your viewers and the privilege to be on your network. I think the concern generally is not about me or us, but being us in a whole. We have to look at what concerns stakeholders in the education sector have. And when we talk about stakeholders, we are looking at parents, we are looking at the students themselves, and then even head of institution as well as the juniors and the ESG secretariat for those who are managing the placement system. The first thing, if we all know, I think over the years since the system came into place, one of the concerns that has come up is the fact that sometimes there are errors in placement, where, for instance, and you all know, computer, whatever you input is whatever you get. That due to some of these errors, some students are placed in schools that one did not see, or even when they even choose kind of courses that they get are not the courses that they applied for. And these things tend to frustrate the children themselves who are getting ready to go learn, and then also their parents. And these are things that we need to find ways of address. The second thing has to do with the delays for the system. So delays, when we talk about delays, we're referring to the situation where, okay, people are putting their first choice, others couldn't get those schools, and then because it's a computer system, they now have to wait for all those who couldn't get those to come back, and then the system is readdressed. What happens is that you have situations where some of the children or parents out of institutions now go back to the schools of preference and put pressure on the headmasters and people who are in charge. Something that we all thought we were trying to do away with. We need the papers and even give the information that is coming up. There is still that kind of pressure, and these for us are issues that we need to look at to start off with.
All right, thank you very much, Douglas Korte with the Youth Bridge Foundation. Many thanks for joining us. I'll come back to you, Tabuat, and these are legitimate concerns being raised by Douglas.
Of course, they are, but maybe I need to explain the process a bit further. You know, what happens is that sometimes a student will choose 4 schools, and because his or her marks will be low, can't compete in the 4 schools that he or she chose. So for that matter, he or she will be displaced in the system. Now, when that happens, the system has to mop all these students up, and then we find vacancies for them. Now, it's not that the system will automatically, because they are displaced, put them into schools they haven't chosen. We don't do that. That is why I said that before placement, we give every student the opportunity to text and confirm the schools that you chose. So once that is done, we send reports, through our district and regional education offices, and the students themselves make choices from amongst the schools that do have vacancies. Because, come to think of it, a school like, I will use Wesley Girls. Wesley Girls can have as many as 3,000 applicants, and they can only pick maximum 400 students. That constitutes about 12%. You understand? These same, so the over 2,600 students would have to compete for their second or third choices. And these are some schools like Vansemai, Okuapemai, and those schools, how many can also so it's very competitive. The system will rank you from the highest mark to the lowest mark. And
because it's competitive, it also gives room to people to want to manipulate the system.
The manipulation is what I don't understand, because
of course, how can we any evidence
how can we manipulate? Everything is done clearly in public. You know, this year it's likely that we can even run it in public for everybody to see. So the manipulation is what I really don't understand.
Until you get any evidence to that effect.
But you know, it's born out of frustration. You know, that my ward deserve to go to this school is because I went there, or because the school is this or that. But this is the crucial. That's why it's important that at this particular time,
but are there special cases, let's say for people whose parents may have been old students? Are there special cases?
You know, these are concerns that are usually addressed outside the placement, because it's all the way to the office of the minister and the director general. But believe me, it's not as easy as that. You see, so the system is clear. When we had the manual system, so many people were complaining because it was left to humans. Now we have computers running the system, and we still don't trust the system. So where do we go? You see, so this has come to me. I always say that is the best admission system we have in the country. Even if we could apply it to all levels, the nursing, the teacher training, and even the universities, it's the best, because there's no human interference whatsoever.
I've just got a text from someone who's listening, wants to find out if you also take cognizance of the infrastructure in the school before you know, posting the students there.
Every head master or head mistress is required, before we do placement, to submit to us the number of students they can take, and they do so, they spread them according to the courses that they do. So like I was using PreSec, if they can do if they can take 500 students, that's what they will give us. And then the 500 students, they will spread them. Science I can take 100, business I can take maybe 50, and all that. And that is how the students are going to compete. So if 3,000 students apply to go to let's say PreSec, and then 200 want to go and do business when they can take only 100, it means they're going to pick 100 out of the 200. That is not us, it's the system. So the system is not something that somebody is sitting somewhere and manipulating. It's a policy. It's a policy that has been coded into a software that is running. I cannot change the policy. I cannot change the code. It's a policy that has been put together by the GES, the Ministry of Education, and various stakeholders. And that policy has been working since 2005. Okay, so the placement system has been around for almost 10 years now. And it's the best. But we cannot give more than the schools can take.
Right.
The heads give to us how many students they can take.
All right, thank you very much. We've got to leave it here. Atab Watson is a national coordinator for the Computer School Selection and Placement System. We've been talking about, you know, issues concerning it, issues about malfeasance, related issues, and all that. And he's been seeking to answer questions related to that. You're watching Midday Live on TV3. My name is Pakwiti Asari.